Hey y'all, it's Halloween. Happy Halloween. Last day of October 2021. And it's morning time. Having my coffee. Getting ready for my day. And so I just thought I'd just check in. I'll ramble a little bit. I actually watched some vinyl community videos. I don't remember any names to mention, but it had been a while, so I really enjoyed what I watched, and probably should have looked up who he was, but there was one fella, a long-haired fella who, big personality, really enjoyed watching him. He had received some VCLT, and it was a joy to watch him. Speaking of that, someone a while back, every now and then I'll receive anonymous, to me they're anonymous, records that have been bought for me from Amazon. I don't know who, if the person ever told me they were going to do this, I don't remember who it is. And so I received one a couple days ago, and I'd been looking for this album, or not looking, but wanting it, but it never shows up in Omaha. If there ever was a copy in Omaha, I missed it. So thank you whoever sent this to me. The band Yuseff, Kamaal, Black Focus. Hell yes, I knew about this, know about it, and had it on my computer, listening to it. Grooves, funky, very. The title is appropriate. Black Focus. When I see the two dudes who made up the group, I'm not sure of their ethnicity, and that's not the point, but the title of the project, Black Focus, is correct. The music is very black, very black. And this is really good, and it's also very honest in that there's a couple tracks where they, I guess you could call them mistakes, but what it is that what they're doing is they're playing in tandem, and then they miss each other a couple times, the pianist and the drummer. But they keep going, and I think that's actually pretty cool to hear, that everything isn't seamless, because they catch each other, they get back in sync. I thought that was pretty brilliant, honestly, to share that. It reminds me of, if I can, Makaya, McCraven, yeah. The approach of this album, Yuseff Kamaal, reminds me also of the way that Makaya McCraven is doing his things in Universal Beings. This is some more really cool stuff. I've talked about it before. And here's another one, Where We Belong, Chicago mixtape, Chicago and London mixtape. So thank you whoever sent that to me. I really enjoy it. Really solid, funky drumming. Wonderful pocket that Yuseff Days has. Some other city stuff sitting out. I'm just going to ramble. I'm not sure why I wanted to bring this up, but the other day I pulled this and was showing it online. I think I just wanted to just talk about it. NOFX, the punk rock band. Hepatitis Bathtub. This is what I recorded this. Look what it says. Recorded in a basement in Omaha in 1987. They came through Omaha in the early days. They were just kids. NOFX. My band REF opened the show. They crashed at a friend's. I went to the place and partied, and while we were partying, they said they were looking for a studio or some kind of way to record some demos. I had a 4-track in my basement. I said, we can do it. Next day, had a riotous time at my old house with the band and a bunch of kids, skaters, just and other musicians. It was all I could do to keep them from destroying the house and skating and, trying to do skate shit inside the house. But it was fun. So that's one that I like to share. Yeah, I recorded this. I still have the master tape. Took me a while to get a copy, but I did. Tonto's expanding headband. What's interesting to me is someone said to me about some of the comments I get is that, they're just fake. Well, there's no way for me to know, and that still doesn't change the fact that this is something that the world deals with, which is really juvenile behavior. And I bring that up because in one of the prog rock groups online, someone made a comment about this, and I wonder how many people even know about Tonto's expanding headband. And then when people started to respond to it, I started to wonder myself, was that someone attempting to start some mess, and it backfired. So anyway, I feel good about how I address things here, okay? And I hear from you folks in the comments that you do find it helpful. I know it is. We don't have a whole lot of people talking sense these days, do we? Can, 3LP set, the singles, great stuff. I just love Can. And this is a great selection. The High Llamas, this is a remix 12-inch single. They've worked a lot with Stereolab. They take a big, I would say when you hear it, you can hear where the music is almost created like Beach Boys' Pet Sounds period was a template for how this band makes their music. I quite like it. Hadn't played this in a while, and this is just a revelation of how cool this is. It's just so organic and grooving. Embryo, German-based world music band, started in the 70s. This is Embryo's Rache. It's a reissue. I had some of their original albums when I was younger. I kept one, but I sold or lost the others, not really appreciating fully what I had. That's happened a lot in life, hasn't it, folks? You don't know what you got till it's gone. Catherine Wheel, forever one of my favorite bands. Black Metallic, bit of an anthem for them. This whole run of sleeves that they did with the white box effect, very interesting and arresting. Fantastic band. Their B-sides, in a lot of ways, are as good as the A's for most of their records. Brilliant band. Here's one that I pulled thinking, has this been lost in the racks and it's time for it to go? Sarian Kortar. Paris Need Not Be Warm. I don't know anything about the band. The reason why I bought this, and I think this came out in the 80s, was this label, Contempo, out of Italy. It caught my attention, but I also noticed that at the time that the records ended up kind of like getting dumped in the stores here in Omaha, somebody bought them, some distributor bought them, no one was picking them up, and so they were ending up in the stores lower priced, and so I started picking them up because some of them were pretty good, and this one ends up being rather good. At times it sounds a bit like felt, but not totally. Really good. Real good. Canterbury comes up a lot over here for me. It's part of my world in my head. Hadn't played this in a while, and when I put it on yesterday, it ended up playing it all the way through because this Hatfield the North is what we have here, people. This is one of the finest, and when I post it in the groups online, it's fun because it creates a lot of chatter. This music means a lot to a lot of people, including me. Some of the finest progressive rock. Just very imaginative, and humor is involved. The cover is I also love this cover. This is one of my favorite album covers. Along those lines, played Robert Wyatt's first solo album, which, if I got it right, was kind of like he had the studio time, and so he had these were like jams and improvs and just kind of like sort of sketchy. And my appreciation of this has grown over the years. I used to think it seemed really kind of offhand, which probably really was, but over time, the value of what went down has just grown. I love Robert Wyatt. Another oldie, but great. And this is an original Italian pressing. Brainticket, Celestial Ocean. It's not krautrock, it's space rock. And this is a collector's item. And I have the poster. I'm not going to pull it, but it has the poster and everything. Joel Van Drugenbroek. I love it. Here's one that I took a chance on because I'd seen the cover back in the day, and then I finally had a chance to pick up a reissue of it, but I hadn't listened to it. I was thinking I might be getting something here. Dominique Blanc Francard, Allures. This is disappointing. It stays in the collection for now, but I played it a couple nights ago, and it's on the pop side of trying to be like Pink Floyd. That's how I would describe it. And I'll give it another chance at some time, but it was to the point where I thought the cover is the best part of the album at this point for my ears. Last thing sitting out because, again, Canterbury, I get on a Jag. Matching Mole, Robert Wyatt's band, Little Red Record. Just fantastic. Fantastic music. And, again, I'll say it, very thankful that my attention can be sated with this endeavor, this interest still in my life. I'm not bored with music, playing it, listening to it, obsessing over it, and it just really is, to me, helpful or good in these insane, unreal, unstable times. I don't feel the need to be constantly out running around trying to do things or see people or be with people. We're in a very strange time on the planet where we're dealing with pandemics, but we're also dealing with an epidemic of man, what's the word for it? It's like everyone is just completely fractured, splintered, and it's just all this like flux. And it's an overview of the world, the way I'm talking. And so I'm fine to just kind of just do the things that I do, but spend a lot of time at home, safe. Okay? The latest numbers here in Omaha, yesterday morning in the news, was that local hospitals are at 92% capacity. And yet we still are dealing with this insane drama playing out worldwide regarding vaccines and what's fake and what's not. Someone asked me if I'm going to get the booster. Probably. It hasn't been locally been made available real obviously, so I'm not chasing it. I'm not a scientist, so I don't know the facts, but I have no interest in listening to people's opinions. It's a hoax, it's just that, well, you say that, but what do you know? When were you at a science lab? When have you, where's your information coming from? You know, because really a lot of what we have going on is just people spouting off what they think, you know, including me, but I say so. It's just what I think. I'm not trying to tell somebody that I know what's real. I don't when it comes to, you know, science and medicine. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, but I'm not so stupid as to listen to someone else, some other ignoramus who, especially when you hear people speaking with anger or like I'm right and you're wrong, and it's like, well, right away we know that this is a problem here, and yet this is really what's going on worldwide. Is everyone is declaring that their perspective or what they know is reality, and you know, it's just keeps the apple cart upset because no one knows, and yet everyone is constantly being distracted by minutia, and the larger issues continue to reel out of control. See, this is my there's many examples of it all the time in the news, you know. But a recent one was all the hoopla about a joke that Dave Chappelle made. I don't even know what the joke is, don't even care. But just looking at the response, especially the way the media likes to play it. See, that's the other thing that I see. The way the media deals with all this information is very manipulative, very PTSD-inducing on purpose. And it's being pointed out about how, like, for example, Facebook, which is now Meta, whatever the fuck, they know that negative stuff and stuff that gives a negative charge draws interest, and so they highlight it. That's an example of what I'm talking about, where we're being manipulated all the time, you know. And the thing I started to mention about Dave Chappelle and the huge public outcry about a joke in comparison to cities that don't have drinkable water, much less what's going on with coastal cities and environmental changes. You know, it's just like, you know, right? You folks that live out there, you see it yourselves. The effects, you know, how... So anyway, stuck on my mind. Okay. I can't wrap it up into a bow because there's nothing to wrap up into a bow. I do enjoy sharing my thoughts with you, and I do check my videos to see if what I said made any sense. And I'm noticing this record behind my head. Y'all, you probably can't see what that is. I'm going to pull it. Some of you might be surprised what it is. This is a very good album. This is my favorite of his albums. Peter Frampton, Wind of Change. Have you heard this album? That's one of my favorite songs on it. Fig Tree Bay, the way this album starts. Love that song. Peter Frampton's the real deal, always has been. Even when he was a kid being pushed to be a pop idol, he didn't want that. He wanted to play the guitar. Always has, and he's a good guitar player. It's one of my favorites. Okay, folks. You all take care.